Hey guys, it's Melody, and today I just wanted to talk one-on-one about my pantry and my fridge and how to organize your pantry and your fridge for maximum efficiency and maximum just sensibility and well-being. So the very first thing that you want to do is you want to take stock of the foods that you regularly eat. You want to be judicious. You want to pay attention, very close attention, and be mindful to the things you always consume, because this is how you're going to organize your layout. And if you're not cognizant of the things you're always taking in, then it's going to be very hard to organize it efficiently. So once you have taken stock of the things you eat all the time, then what you're going to do is organize in your pantry. And there are a lot of houses that don't have a pantry. When I was living in Europe, there was no pantry in Norway, so I just had to use the drawers as pantry space. And in that scenario, then you have to be very particular about what you're going to keep. You can't keep everything, because you're just going to keep looking at that baking ingredient and it's never going to get used, and it's taking up so much of your prime real estate. So the very first thing that I do is I organize I used to keep my recipes, as many of them, on one card as possible, but now I just keep one on each card, and that's so at the beginning of the week I can organize all of my recipes according to what I'm going to be making. So usually every week I'm going to make 3 recipes. I'm not going to make more than 3 because I'm going to have leftovers, and because I know I can't keep up with that volume of cooking. I can't keep up with that volume of cooking. I'm not at my dream state yet. I can only cook 2 or 3 times a week. So I have those 2 or 3, and I put them either inside the pantry or on top of the fridge, depending. If you don't like a lot of clutter, if you don't like a lot of visual clutter, you want to keep it inside the pantry on those magnetic boards where you're going to keep your shopping list. I use now my Alexa to keep my shopping list on, so I can put my shopping list on my Alexa, Amazon Alexa, and then it will send it to my phone. So I'll have it on my phone ready to go, or I'll just order it through Amazon if it's something I can get on Amazon. But the point is that you want to keep everything in one area, easy to see. The very next thing is to take as many things as make sense out of their containers. So when you're organizing your closet, you want to take everything, you want to fold as much as you can, but a lot of things doesn't make sense to fold. It looks better hung up, so then you just hang it up because it makes sense. The same thing with the pantry. Some things look so much better. Some things look so much better in the pantry when you take it out of the box, and some things just don't make any sense. It's not going to fit in any container that you have. So I take as many things as I can out so that it looks label free and immaculate, looks as good as possible. And then the things that I can't, I will take it out of the box, but I might still leave it in the packaging. I just try to make it as minimal as possible, and I try to keep like with like. I try to keep the potatoes and the onions and the garlic all near each other, and then the packets all near each other on the door. I keep all of those on the door, and then of course all the sauces together like with like. That's the #1 rule of organization. Declutter first, and then keep like with like, and then get containers that you can use for multiple things. So when it outgrows one use, you can move it to the next use. So like with like, and you don't want to keep some things together. For instance, certain things ripen quickly, and then they're making everything around it go overripe really quickly because of the gas it's giving off. So you want to make sure that things that are going ripe really quickly, for instance, I keep apples in the fridge and tomatoes in the fridge because I don't mind that it changes the taste a little bit. I like it to be cold anyway, and I keep the bananas separate. I don't keep it next to the potatoes and the garlic and everything. I keep the bananas and avocado separate because it will start making everything go overripe all at once. Oranges, I keep it in the pantry because it's not going to make everything go overripe all of a sudden. It's just paying very close attention and doing research to know how to make things last in the fridge and how things go bad. What gives off the gas that makes things ripen really quickly. And if you want to know, I have a whole blog post on that, so I'll link that down below. The ones that give off the gas, that you have to keep them separate. If you're one of those families that just goes through fruit, good for you. That means that you guys have basically been eating fruit and vegetables for a while, so your stomach craves that, because the more that you eat of a certain food, your stomach craves more of that food, so that you are on the right track. That's very good. If your family just runs through all of the fruit and veg, never goes bad, then you obviously are not eating donuts or cookies like me. You should be making YouTube videos. But the very next thing is the fridge. And the fridge, I love my fridge. After so long, I finally got the fridge the way that I wanted. And the first thing is you want to make sure you do the condiment challenge. Definitely try the 10 condiment challenge and get through your condiments. Have only 1 or 2 salad dressings and only a little bit, because you just don't need that much to flavor things and your body's healthier. Hi, Pat. When it comes to condiments, you just don't need that much for well-being and for taste and flavor. I make very flavorful food, but I rarely use spices and I rarely use condiments. Once you get your condiments down, the rest is a breeze. It's just a matter of getting the right containers, because most of the times people's fridge are jammed because they don't clean it out regularly because there's too much in there, and they also don't use containers. So as soon as I get home, I take out the lettuce and I take out the spinach and I put it into a container. I take out the celery and the carrots and I put it in one container, the peppers and I put it in another container, just so that I can see easily at a glance everything that I have. I try to put things in as few drawers as possible. That encourages me to eat more if everything's prepped already, and it makes everything last longer because it's not dirty. And also there's a paper towel in there, so it's sopping up the water, so it's not making everything mold faster, because the last thing you want to do is just keep everything wet. You want to make sure everything's nice and dry and crisp. And so putting things in containers will make your fridge look so sparkling. It will encourage you to eat at home more. It will give you so much joy opening the fridge. If I could say anything, it would be to invest in the right containers for your fridge. Glass containers. If you are into the lifestyle of only using glass, I did a whole video on just my favorite containers, so definitely check that out, because the right containers make all the difference in the world when it comes to the fridge. It's an initial investment, but it pays off, and you want to use as few different styles as possible so that it's easy to stack and easy to put away. It's better to have, for instance, a container like this and put your tomato and your avocado, even though it's huge in comparison to these. It's better to have a bigger one because it's more multi-use, and your fridge is still going to look stunning even if there's a little dead space in there, even if there's a little negative space in there because the container is not being used. It's still going to look stunning. So it's better to get a few containers in the same size, and that's the best way to organize, because when you're putting things away and when you're storing things, it will still look clean as well, which is a big part because a lot of the containers aren't in use when at the beginning of the week. I put my lids on the door. So I put my lids on the door with 2 hooks, and I really like that method for organizing lids. If you have a lot of them, they have come out finally. When I first started organizing my pantry years ago, they didn't have that many options for organizing lids. I was just thinking, where are all the inventors? What is happening? There's got to be a solution, but they've recently come out with lots of different options, but that's just my option because I don't have that many lids. I prefer just having one big lid to do everything. I just want to be pragmatic. And initially when I started outfitting my kitchen, I went all out. I got OXO pop containers, I had an all-clad pan, I bought the top of the line knife, and you know, a lot of it makes very little difference. I can say that with certainty because I've had different containers, and the glass containers are my favorite. As you guys well know, these glass containers are my favorite, and the all-clad pan really doesn't make that much difference to me, surprisingly. So don't stress the small stuff, because you can get very high quality these days for very little. And when it comes to underneath the stove, I try to keep it very clean. We don't want to be eating that many baked goods, right? So I try as much as possible to get baked goods out of the house because I don't want to be cooking in batches. And if I am going to cook in batches, I'm going to cook something like brownies or cookies or something very traditional and easy so that I can have as few bakeware as possible. Bakeware, condiments, and spices I really try to keep down because more is not more in those areas. It's going to get at my health. It's going to get my health, and I'm going to be twice the size Melody. So I gotta be judicious, guys. I gotta be judicious. The only 2 organizers I really use are this organizer for the fridge. I use this nice long one for the fridge, and I use a plate organizer and a cutting board organizer to organize my cutting boards and also my placemats, my clear placemats and everything like that. And that's all of my organizers. I try to keep it as basic as possible. Again, I went all out when I first became a court reporter. I had my first checks and I just had my vision, but I wasn't thinking in terms of how can I get the most value with as few items, which is why this is what I really try to focus on this channel. I really try to boil it down. I'm not here to try everything under the sun. I'm here to only talk about the things that stand the test of time and the things that make a huge difference so you can for sure get your money's worth out of it. So I hope that you guys like this video on how to organize your pantry and your kitchen. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next Sunday in the next minimalist and organization video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Every time I wear this top, I feel like Anna Green Gables in that scene where she really wanted puff blue sleeves because she's very impractical and very idealistic. Anyways, every time I have this puff here, of course it only has one puff sleeve because it's some modern age, so I don't know where the other puff sleeve went. But anyway, every time I see this puff sleeve, I always think of that movie. I just feel like I'm Anna Green Gables for a sec.